Come on. Do I sound like I'm joking? Do I sound like I'm playing? When you look into my eyes, you understand what I'm saying? Let me say it to you slowly, and it may sound scandalous. I don't think that you can handle this.
All right, Survivor picks. I gotta say, last week we did really well. We survived. My two choices were Detroit and Miami. Not exactly long shots. Combined 58% of all picks were those two teams. But then there was one more pick. Mike Steph went out on a limb and took Seattle versus San Francisco. Mike Steph, do you know how many people picked Seattle?
Wait. 10%?
Exactly, 0%. In multiple leagues I was in, 0%. Nobody picked them except for you the man. And actually, the 49ers were basically the only team that really got anybody booted out. 9% of people did not listen to our podcast and picked San Francisco, and they're gone because of that. You should listen to Mike Steph.
Listen,
I agreed with you a little bit.
Like I said over the weekend, we don't call this Hidden Gems football just because it's a catchy slogan, it's a catchy title. That's our ultimate goal, is to give y'all the hidden gems, to give y'all the heads up, the extra step against the competition. Listen, nobody's ever 100%, but that one gem turns a coal into a diamond. Then you got us to look forward to. Tell me.
All right, moving on to this week. One thing to note: this week and week 14 are the last buys, and each in week 12 this week and week 14 there are going to be 6 teams that are on bye. This week in particular is interesting because it's Buffalo, the Jets, Jacksonville, Cincinnati, Atlanta, and New Orleans, which means that you can't go against the Jets, can't go against Jacksonville, can't go against New Orleans. But we do have some pretty large spreads this week. All right, Mike Steph, I'm going to give you a list of, looks like, I'm going to give you 7 games. I'm going to give you 5 big spreads, then 2 that are slightly under our usual range, and see if you like any of them or if you like any of the other ones. All right, you ready?
All right, it's going to be.
All right, the biggest spread of the week, Kansas City is heading to Carolina. Kansas City is 11-point favorites. After that, we have Dallas heading to Washington. Washington are 10.5-point favorites. We have Tennessee heading to Houston. Houston is 8.5-point favorite. Detroit on the road heading to Indianapolis. Detroit is 7.5-point favorite. New England is heading to Miami. Miami is a touchdown favorite. I'm kind of surprised by that spread. Anyway, then the 2 additional ones, slightly smaller. Tampa Bay is heading to New York to face the Giants. Tampa Bay is 5.5-point favorites. And Denver is 5.5-point favorite on the road heading to Las Vegas to face the Raiders. Mike Steph, do you like any of these games, or do you see something else that you'd like to pick? You have a long shot like Seattle this week?
Unfortunately, no, because I'm looking at the real big spreads, and I'm like, no, those are pretty accurate. I guess my picks would be the Commanders over the Cowboys, because if anybody saw that game this past Monday, there's no way in hell the Commanders, if they are what people think they should be, should lose that game at home against the Cowboys team that's just running out, playing out the string. So if you haven't picked them yet, that would be one option. I'm going to forego the Chiefs because I'm quite sure everybody's picked the Chiefs. And the other one, I guess, would be the Broncos over the Raiders. Once again, if you haven't picked the Broncos before, this would probably be the most opportune time to do so. The Raiders, once again, are playing out the string. They will play them tough, but we're not talking about spreads. We're talking about wins and losses. So I guess my 2 picks would be safe this week: the Commanders over the Cowboys and the Broncos over the Raiders.
That Denver game is interesting to me just because I don't know what to make of Denver. They're playing much better, but there's just something about them that I just don't understand. But, against the Raiders, yeah, I guess so.
It's their quarterback. They have a rookie quarterback.
Oh, so up and down.
Yeah, because the defense has been consistent. It's just the quarterback plays great, they win. their quarterback plays like a rookie, a legitimate rookie, they have problems. But considering 6-5, nobody would have thought they would be 6-5 at this point during the season. So
Absolutely,
that's part of it.
Yeah, I think the obvious pick for me, if I still have them, and I think I do, actually, is the Chiefs. I think I'll just take them versus Carolina and not worry about it. And in that Washington game, Washington's been struggling a little bit, but Dallas is a train wreck right now. I would probably just go against Dallas the rest of the season if I could, to tell you the truth, how they're playing. The other game that intrigued me some was that Tampa Bay Giants game. I think Mike Evans might be back this week, and the Giants are benching Daniel Jones, which I'm sure all the Giants fans are excited about, but they're putting in Tommy DeVito. I saw that experiment last year, and I know he won a couple of games, I think, when he first came in. He's a terrible quarterback. I'm stunned that he's still their backup.
Well, you do know what that's really about, right? They're 2-8 going nowhere. So you had to bench Daniel Jones so you don't get stuck, God forbid that he gets hurt, and you're stuck paying the remainder of his contract. That was the expected part. But also, they realized they need to be in contention to get a replacement quarterback cheaply so they can spend whatever money they have in the cap on surrounding the new quarterback with pieces. So do you put Drew Lock in there that perhaps might just be able to get 2-3 more wins and then take you out of position? Or do you put Tommy DeVito in, Tommy Cutlets in, and, he might be the spark. It might be more fun. It might be a little bit more competitive, but he's not really a threat to take y'all out of that top 5 position. So they can't just outright say that, yeah, we're going to tank, but trust and believe they're going to tank. One other thing is financial considerations when it comes to Drew Lock, because he has a lot of his contract and incentives in playing time and stats. So once again, if you're going to play Drew Lock, not only do you have a chance to win more games, which will knock you out of top 5 contention, you're going to end up having to pay more of his contract. So in those terms, they can't outright say it, but you read between the lines, that's exactly what's going on.
Be cheap and tank. I'm really curious to see how the rest of the team ends up playing this upcoming week, because like you said, they might rally behind the new quarterback, or they might just look at this team and be like, oh, you're tanking? You're leaving us no real quarterback to give us a shot? Yeah, screw it.
I think the team will not give up. I just think the amount of talent that they have, or the talent deficit that they have, won't allow them to win with DeVito, but it'll be more competitive. It'll be more exciting. And if they did just fall in the tank, like as in the team just gives up, that doesn't bode well for Brian Daboll going forward. I think right now, John Mara is willing to keep Daboll. Whether he does Joe Shane, I'm not sure, but I think he's willing to keep Daboll and give him the opportunity to get the quarterback of his choice. Because remember, he inherited Darren Jones. Yeah, he said, I could work with him, but I think they're going to give him the benefit of the doubt. You get your quarterback that you need, run your offense, run your system, and then we can evaluate there.
This is a 19 Media Group presentation.
All right, up next
in Movember.
What's that?
You don't know what Movember is?
Is it my month?
Well, it could be. I tell you the truth. I would damn sure would hijack it. I'm like, shoot, my name is Mojo King, and welcome to Movember. But also, it's one of those things where for the month of November, we have a mustache.
Clearly, that is what I'm doing. Clearly.
Okay. Yeah. I just looked at. I didn't want to interrupt you while you was talking. So I was like, all right, in between the segment, I'm going to ask. I'm like, you doing Movember?
No. Well, all that happened was I needed to shave, because you saw how bushy I was. So I needed to shave, but I needed to go pick up my son. So I just didn't feel like wasting the time with the exactly. I was like, shh. All right, I'm out.